Bro, so
Judas-like
what?
behavior.
So you're telling me, Q, you've never encountered a girl who's like every single girl. Isn't your body count? Well, I don't want. Okay, I'm not gonna reveal anything. You're every single girl you've dated, you all of them right away.
Yeah.
First or second, every single one. There's never been a girl who was like, oh, no way.
I could probably tell you why she's like that.
Why? Who?
Why the girl is making you wait. I feel like it's probably because every other guy before that has probably not taken her seriously, even when they did sleep with her. So she probably just got exhausted about it.
Sure.
And she's probably just trying to break the cycle. And it probably has nothing to do with you. Probably just the fact that every guy before
This
that.
makes
told you
Brian's
that.
I
point.
completely agree.
I
No.
told
Wait,
you
that makes
that.
Brian's point. That makes
yeah.
Brian's point.
That's
That's
what I'm saying.
that's faking virtue.
Is
that
it,
would
or
be-
is
Is it
that
faking
would-
But that's what I said
I don't think
earlier.
she's wrong. I don't think she's
Oh,
wrong.
I mean,
It
she's
could
trying
be
to
that.
protect herself?
No,
I
I
do
said
too.
you perfect. You were well within your right to say nah. Fuck that. I'm not waiting.
Yeah.
But I said they be going on these little self-healing journeys and they're
No,
tired of.
I don't
they're
think it's
tired of-
self-healing. I think it's just trying to protect herself from another asshole.
It's a lot of
That's what
self-healing
she's trying
journeys
to
too.
heal.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
that
It's a self-healing journey.
Yeah,
That's
so
what
it's
it-
hang
yes,
on.
that bullshit.
So it's that would be faking virtue.
Yeah.
So that moves right into this idea. So the idea here is just, hey, I'm not going to do this because I think it'll give me a different outcome, not because I'm going to do this for some type of like higher reason or because I don't want to sleep with this guy. It's just like I'm going to try something different because it'll give me a different outcome. So now I'm not going to sleep. That I think is faking virtue. I
But,
think
like-
that's what that is.
How is it faking though if that's how she feels?
I think virtue's like that's kind of a loaded word, and like it's. I think there's like cleared. I think there's a little bit of confusion in a way. Like, I think a woman could see a cycle in her past of, okay, I keep sleeping with these men and I'm not getting the outcome that I want. So here comes along this guy. Let me switch up my pattern because I want a different outcome, not because all of a sudden homegirl picked up a Bible and decided she wants to be the next Mary. I think,
But we would agree, right? And so I agree. So let me kind of give you an olive branch. I agree that virtue can be a very loaded word. I don't think though that you and I are speaking past each other when we use the word. I think we would probably use it kind of the same way. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think we would. In this case, though, with Brian, this is actually making his point either way. So if you say she's just doing this because she's working on herself for a different outcome, he's like, well, what the fuck? I'm the guy who gets screwed over here, right? I'm the guy who gets left behind. So that would make his point. Or the alternative to this is I'm doing this because I want you to think differently of me. Even though I want to do this, and that would be faking virtue. So like I said, it's like a double-edged sword, this question. That's why I don't have a great answer for it.
Well, I don't think anyone's disagreeing with Brian's view, right? Yeah.
I'd be so annoyed if I were a guy and she wasn't putting
yeah.
out.
Yeah, right. But it's like at the same time, so for you, the faking part would be just because like she wants to do it, but she doesn't because of her own personal reasons.
What
Is that
about like
correct?
self-control?
No. That wouldn't be the faking. That wouldn't be the faking virtue
Okay.
scenario.
Yeah. Okay.
That would be the Brian just feels like he's getting fucked over because why me?
Right.
Why do I happen to be the guy you start this with?
Right.
So that wouldn't be the faking virtue part.
Okay.
The faking virtue part would be if you were like, okay, I have changed my moral system, and that's why I'm not doing this, right? With you. So and they're only really faking the moral system part because they want the guy to think differently of them.
So they're
that's the double-edged question here.
so they're only changing their views for that one person, but not for everybody else. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, they're just basing it on how they're perceived. So I'm changing this behavior because this guy or these groups of guys or whatever will perceive me differently. That would be the faking virtue.
Yeah. So it's like
On
it's not
the other
a
end of
genuine.
it, the other end of it, from the secular end of it, let's say, the idea would just be, well, that's fucked up. How come I get the short end of the stick and John over there, right? He got the all-you-could-eat buffet night one. Why do I have to get the crumbs from Longshank's table, right? When I want the whole country, right? That would be the basic kind of objection here, right?
And let me just respond to Brian, because Brian my homie. But I was just curious, like the
That's a
answer.
very smooth transition from the Benedict Arnold I saw just mere minutes ago.
It was an honest inquiry. It was an honest inquiry, Andrew. But I'm just saying, you asked, like, surely I've dated women who probably done that. All the women that I've taken serious, like the last 3 women that I dated had a combined body count of 3. My last 2 girlfriends were virgins. So I like the innocent type of women. My body count didn't come from me pursuing women. Women have thrown themselves at me. Remember, I made the Shade Room. I was one of the zaddies. I had over 5,000 women in my DM. Women like, oh my God, da 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 da. I'm not the guy to always say no. You know, I take them up on the offer sometimes. They've driven themselves out. They've flown themselves out. I didn't pay for anything. So that's typically what it comes from. But the women I approach, it's the innocent type, the wholesome type, the girl who's sitting in the corner reading a book. She doesn't party, she doesn't club. I like those women.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I agree with you in terms of my, interest in women. I prefer those kinds of women. But I've also, I'm pretty open about this. Have I encountered this in my own dating life? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I've encountered women who, I don't know how many times, bro.
Just
Enough, bro.
bullshit.
Enough. It's.
Yeah, just
I mean, dude,
bullshit.
it's just like, maybe you haven't had that happen, but you've dated a girl where it's like,
Bro,
this
you
is
can
some
go see me on
bullshit
the Shade Room. You can literally go look me up on the Shade Room. I'm still up there. 50,000 likes.
No, but but I mean, you've encountered some girl that's like, this is some fucking, like, you're dealing with some bullshit scenario with a girl.
Yeah.
And so I've encountered it, I don't know, a handful of times, right? Mm-hmm. And I mean, you said, well, these girls will fly out, but I've had that too, right? Mm-hmm. But I remember when I was on the dating apps, and I might encounter this, or I remember even a girl who, I had a girl, she drove, slid into my DMs, came here, drove 2 hours from LA to come see me. Mm-hmm. And she told me, oh, yeah, I've had hookups, blah, 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 whatever.
So did they do that and still try to make you wait? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, this girl who drove 2 hours to come and see me, slid into my DMs, wasn't religious, didn't seem to have any, there was no religious component there. She was like, well, she admitted to having had several one-night stands. Mm-hmm. And then she said, well, now that I'm a bit older, I want to wait until I'm in love. I'm like, bro.
Okay, yeah.
I ain't
okay.
waiting.
No,
How long is it going to take for you to fall? Like 6 months?
Yeah.
I'm not waiting 6 months, bro.